Diving into a fresh series here and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Near Humanity, we have the Canadian Protoss player representing Team Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Near Humanity, we have his opponent, the ex-CranKy Duckling. The announcement is out there. If you are on social media or our Discord server, you now know, but still has the clan tag for the time being. It is the American Terran, Vindicta. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. Yes. With a heavy heart, we did announce a couple of hours ago that Vindicta, Patty Mac, and Dolan, the three of them, are no longer on the CranKy Ducklings. It was a really hard decision to make, but it is no secret that we have been struggling a little bit financially. We have been struggling, and some of those players were approached by other teams with better opportunities and better salaries, and we can't really compete with that. We were like, you know what, do it, but take it, papi. Oh god. So we definitely look forward to seeing them continue in their careers, continue being supported by other teams, and have plenty of opportunities. We're always going to be cheering for them. Miguelito Vindicta, he's always my boy. He's my son. Mijito. Always have a lot of love for him, as well as Patty Mac and Dolan as well. Oh, so yeah, that's kind of as far as we're going to go into it. Again, keep an eye on social media for potentially some of those players joining some new teams. Definitely keep an eye out. And we're here jumping into this series, a bit of an NA versus NA classic. Trigger, of course, has been on the rise for an entire year. You could argue even 2 years. He's definitely become one of the big names in North America, top 3 Protoss alongside Neeb, alongside Estrella, and he's even been able to take some of them down from time to time in series. I don't think I would say Trigger is the favorite against, you know, some of the other big names, but he is definitely a contender. So this is going to be a bit of a tough ask here for Vindicta. He has to really power up and show off what he's made of in this TVP. Ready, first Reaper gets across the map, is going to be able to pick off 1 probe, 2 probes. Oh my god. Trigger, a little bit distracted across the map, is here with his Adept, but is not able to delay that CC. We have a bunker. The SCVs were pulled in. They were all saved. We have a Marine as well. Vindicta coming out strong here, not losing any workers, and taking a little bit of an economic lead. Even comes in towards the natural, more lost mining time. Ooh, has to be careful. I believe is going to lose that Reaper. Oof. Meanwhile, across the map, that Adept is still looking to get some work done. Oh, the SCV, get out of there! No! Oh my god, he gets in just in time, but will still lose 1 SCV in the end. That was so close. So Trigger is reciprocating a little bit, but now we have multiple Marines, and of course the Adept has to get the hell out of there. And after all said and done, quickly looking at the vision, Vindicta was not able to scout the tech. He wasn't able to get behind the mineral line to see if it was a Stargate or a Twilight Council, but he should be able to piece things together, especially upon seeing the additional gateways thrown down. As Trigger is being a little bit cheeky here on Near Humanity, is mining out that gold wall and is going for that 3rd base expansion. Again, here in this matchup, we should be used to Protoss players being a little bit more greedier and taking these expansions, but it's great to see them kind of taking advantage of this map a little bit. This is a very defensible 3rd base. The choke points coming into here can be quite difficult to push through, as well as here towards the upper portion of the map as well. And Near Humanity, despite the fact that it is the smallest map in the map pool, has kind of already gotten a reputation of being a very defensible map. Being very difficult to break your opponent on 3 or even 4 bases, just because of the choke points, just because of the ramps, just because of all these rocks as well, and the slow zone. So we could be in for a long one. I guess the onus is a little bit on Vindicta to see kind of how he approaches this. We can see 3 Raxes as a typical follow-up to his opener. We see an NG Bay. What's curious is that there is only 1 NG Bay. This tells us that he wants to end the game before it really begins. he isn't looking to get into the mid game. He doesn't have a second NG bay for 1-1 or 2-2 timings. He wants to hit very hard, very quickly. And should be gearing up for a bit of a committed push, borderline all in. I don't know if I want to commit to saying that, but pretty much here, based off of the buildings that we do see. A starport is thrown down, so eventually we're going to be seeing medevacs, and once they do come out, Vindicta's going to be zooming across the map. And for the time being, Trigger is a little bit in the dark. He does have an observer here to scout whenever the army moves out. Hopefully Vindicta can deal with this before he really commits to a push, or hopefully Vindicta is able to avoid this with his medevacs. Meanwhile, back at home, we see additional gateways. We've got our Forge. We already have Extended Thermal Lance and Colossi on the way for Trigger, and he's getting fully saturated here on 3 bases. We see a scan. Ooh, and I believe the Observer was sniped, so very good move here from Vindicta. Again, he needs to make sure this goes unscattered for the longest time, and he has to make sure that when he does move out, Trigger isn't waiting for him. As Trigger's still working on charge, this is going to be pretty close. +1 is nearing the end, and charge is not even halfway done, so Vindicta should be able to hit before charge is finished. Meanwhile, third CC is thrown down. Interesting. So Vindicta does have a follow-up plan. Another observer shows up, is going to get sniped. The observer does scout that third CC. Yeah, Vindicta is moving on out. He's keeping his tanks back at home. 2 more Raxes are thrown down behind this. And Vindicta is not going to be committing. Starts +1 armor behind this. So, yeah, isn't feeling too confident. Does scout the Colossi across the map. And there are already 2 of them. There's not too much of a buffer for them. And again, charge isn't done. But again, Vindicta, he doesn't necessarily like his chances. Is going to back off. Is going to transition. Meanwhile, Trigger's just doing what Protoss does best, and that's turtle. Second Forge is on the way. He's like, you know what? Especially now that he saw the third CC, he's like, I should be safe to throw down some more Forges, to throw down even a 4th base. Vindicta did just slip in to try and deny a 4th, and also scans the 3rd. I believe this is his first time seeing the 3rd location. So yeah, just kind of looking for some opportunities. Unfortunately, you know, just coming in a little bit too early. The 4th is thrown down now, and that would have been a good time for that drop to come in. Yeah, so far, so good. Remember earlier how I said this could be a long one? Yeah, well, it is. Sensor tower is thrown down. We are getting into a bit of a longer game. It's near humanity, you know? It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm a little bit surprised that Vindicta let this through the vetoes, not gonna lie. Like, near humanity, I do think that like Protoss is favored in this sense, because typically in this matchup the Terran player is doing whatever they can to pull apart the Protoss player and go for multi-pronged aggression and to try to end things relatively early. But it looks as if, you know, Vindicta has a bit of a different outlook. Ooh, as one medevac gets sniped here on the right hand side. Trigger just posturing, looking to take control of the Xel'Naga tower. Doesn't have enough to really break this position or break this tank line. So again, just kind of moving out to make sure he can expand, take this 4th base relatively safely. We have a 2nd robo out, so now we have double disruptor production. We have plenty of Colossi as well. The splash damage is getting a bit out of control, and Vindicta behind this, again, is just going to be taking up into Ghost. We don't see Liberator production yet. That's kind of the big thing that we're waiting for. As Trigger is moving on in here, does force a cancel on that 4th CC. Has to be careful not to overcommit and overextend. Tries to come in from the left-hand side with those Zealots, but does pull back in the end upon recognizing how many tanks there are, as well as those Ghosts. They're just poking, just, you know, just testing the waters. It's okay, Papi, we're not coming. As the 5th base is thrown down. I do appreciate the SimCity here. The wall of Raxes are going to make Zealot run-bys a little bit more difficult to get on top of these tanks. So Vindicta is also doing what he does best, and he's just camping. You know, he's pitching his tent. He's putting on his helmet. What have I gotten myself into? What have I done, Papi? As Vindicta moves out to take control of the Xel'Naga, but ooh, he's going to get caught out a little bit here. couple of Marines are going to get picked up by these Zealots. Oof. Not the biggest loss, but a loss nonetheless. Even gets a Marauder towards the end. And Trigger is about to max out. And with this max, Trigger is going to be feeling pretty confident to push in and trade against Vindicta. Looking to try and get some tanks or even some ghosts. Behind this, Trigger could even look to throw down some Stargates and even a Fleet Beacon. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to him attempting to tech up from this position. A bit of another Zealot run by being set up on the right-hand side. SimCity is lacking a little bit here, so Trigger does spot an opening. His main army trying to distract Vindicta. Ooh, we have a bit of an unsiege. And the Zealots are coming in from behind. Vindicta trying to reposition. Is going to be losing some of his production. Zealots come in towards the natural, and he wasn't quite here in time to deal with this. 5 SCVs, 7 SCVs going to be going down. 8! Oof. Now Trigger, as that's going on, is going to be slipping on in. A bit of a miss rally. Oh. He's going to be losing a disruptor, so Vindicta coming out a bit ahead in that trade. Trigger coming on in as well. Ooh, he's going to Nova himself. Novas himself twice. Happy. It's okay, we're only losing Zealots, so Trigger, these trades are still okay. Behind this, we have a Dark Shrine and Blink DTs as well on the horizon. For even more harassment, we have a 6th base on the way. Trigger has been left untouched when it comes to his bases and his economy. He is free to just take whatever bases he wants. Vindicta has to be active soon. Oh, a bold move by Trigger. Novas are going to be going off and kind of connecting, but takes a lot of tank shots to the face, but I guess it was worth it. At the same time, he goes in for a Zealot run by to kill 11 SCVs. It was all worth it in the end. Vindicta really struggling here to hold on to his fringe base. I say fringe bases, but really his third and his natural. His tanks are left on... Oh god! They're left exposed! And Trigger, he pounces on this, he blinks on forward, and he kills every single tank. Ay, ay, ay. Vindicta just not anticipating this. And that may just be it in the blink of an eye. Oh, he does end up losing his entire tank count. He's going to go for a bit of a Hail Mary play here. A triple drop towards the left-hand side. Is it going to get spotted? Looks like it won't. And this drop has a lot of work to do. Meanwhile, once again, Trigger coming in as there's a Zealot run by going on. Oh, and Trigger's going to be losing a little bit much here. Loses a Disruptor and one of those Colossi. Meanwhile, the Zealot run by only gets a couple of Raxes. Not the biggest of deals. I guess it could have been worse. And here comes that triple drop. Yo, I love it. The EMPs deny the recall. Do have an overcharge, but it is about to be taken down as well. Oh, God. We're not getting many worker kills, though, and Trigger is going to be able to come back to defend. Despite the denying the recall, wasn't able to get many workers at all. Is going for a drop into the main just to distract the army. In comes Vindicta on the right-hand side. But Trigger was anticipating this. His army was already here. And now, you know, we finally have a couple of workers going down. It's something. But Trigger, he has the momentum. He is maxed out. Novas are going to be going off left and right. And Vindicta, even if he gets all these disruptors, it still isn't going to be enough. He gets one in the end. He was able to get 12 workers across the map. But now Trigger can focus on his frontal assaults. The harassment is over. And Vindicta is fighting his heart out, but GG gets called. Trigger will take the first game. Oof. Oh my god. GG. It was really that one moment that we all saw where Trigger distracted Vindicta with a Zealot run by, and Vindicta left all 5 of his tanks exposed. There wasn't anything to support him. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. GG. Oh. And I'm not going to be alone here. Question mark? I'm gonna have a co-caster. Oh my god. Oh, my savior, Poppy, my hero. Everyone, welcome the lovely, the beautiful, the AsherBro.
Oh, a duck is not meant to be alone, puppy.
We're making the lobby. We're sending out invites. Asher.
Oh,
Work?
Nah, it's fine. Look, this could be his last Duckling game. I have to be here for it.
True. Oh my god. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. Yeah, he does still have the clan tag on in game, true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
It's not over.
It's not over. He's still with us, Poppy. He'll never leave us. But good morning, Asher. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, good morning. I'm hungry.
Have you had breakfast?
No. Oh, it's breakfast time. It's fine. We don't need breakfast yet. Have you had breakfast?
Hey, buddy,
That's what I thought.
We don't need to talk about that, okay? Take it away, Poppy. Take it away.
Well, what we do need to talk about is up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, representing Los Patos, maybe for the last time. It is the American Terran. In the blue, this is Vindicta.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have his opponent, the Canadian Protoss player, currently up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series, representing Team Basilisk. It is Trigger. Aye. Basilisk Vindicta.
True.
I saw someone in the chat.
Are they fighting for the jersey? Is that what's happening?
Oh, wait, the callbacks.
CranKy Trigger?
They're fighting for the jersey, Poppy. They gonna get naked. Oh.
Oh. This is what I came for.
Oh my god. But yeah, we just had game number 1. It was on Neo Humanity. Bit of a rough game for Vindicta. Things were looking, quite solid, but like in the blink of an eye, Vindicta lost all his tanks. It was smudged, man. Smudged. Oh.
Yeah, sounds about right. This is definitely at this high of a level. TVP can be a matchup that kind of comes down to who makes the first mistake, and all it takes is one little slip up. Especially the way that Vindicta plays, it's very very defensive. So if you do get pulled apart by a move here or there, it can start to snowball quite quickly.
For sure. And we'll see how things do progress here, as Trigger was so on point with this, just shuts down the bunker and the SCV.
Yeah, that bunker, it's a bit of a tough move to go for these days. Now that the workers don't have that deceleration on hit, your RNG has to be on point.
Oh, definitely. Workers, they are far deadlier than they were ever before. OP, one could say. Oh god, as not the best start here for Vindicta, but not the biggest of deals. Just loses one SCV.
It's normal, puppy. The Protoss, they like to hurt the Terran. It's normal.
It's expected, Poppy, as the Reaper is going to slip back in here. Is going to force some lost mine time. Doesn't get any worker kills, and unfortunately, the Adept was in position, and the Reaper gets picked up as well.
Yeah, definitely a little bit unfortunate there. Some momentum lost. Doesn't get the scout that he was looking for, but does bring that Adept back home for a little while. Looks like behind this going to be going for a mine drop, so pretty good just kind of general plan here, and this should be fine against the Twilight build. I mean, seeing the Stalker as well, it's pretty unlikely that it's going to be Stargate, and I know that Trigger does like to play Blink most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. So Vindicta should be able to predict what's happening. Doesn't have obviously full confirmation, but you know, with what he has, he can kind of deduce that. Is going to be waiting a little bit longer for that drop. We do see Trigger is setting up as well for that third Nexus.
Yeah, looks like Trigger looking to bait out that mine with the Adept as well. Doesn't quite get the timing on that down. Little bit of a cheeky move by Vindicta to have the mine this far out as well.
Oh my god, the dance here, the unborrow, the borrow, the shade, the not shade. They're crazy, Poppy. Once again, Trigger tries to go for it, but Vindicta does pull it back. Does recognize that he probably needs that mine for something a little bit later, as we actually don't have a medevac. We have a bit of an add-on switch here instead.
Yeah, looks like we're going straight into tank Raven. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe 2 Raven here.
Yeah, we have one for the time being here, and you know, Ravens are a pretty interesting unit. I know a lot of people have been messing around with them recently, especially with the new changes. Have you seen a lot more of this here in PvP?
2 Ravens are a thing that people have been playing around with a little bit. I didn't see it at Katowice as much as I thought I would have. So, yeah, there we go. He's going to swap after the first one. I think it was kind of a fun thing to play around with at the start, but against a player like Trigger, he's very capable of going for 4-gate blink, so I can understand being a little apprehensive about this. He is still going to send that Raven around to go for some harass, though.
The Raven is on the way, can also scout a little bit as well. We can see that Trigger is going for 4 gates, as well as the robotic spade to try to get into Colossi production relatively quickly. Pretty similar game here from game 1. Trigger not really mixing things up too much, not doing anything fancy. The auto turret, comes in and it's going to be able to get 1 probe.
Yeah, extremely standard play coming out from Trigger here, just going for that 2-gate blink into charge, into Colossus as well. So if you're a Protoss watching at home, this is pretty much what you want to copy. This is what you want to be doing.
You're trying to make people not play Phoenix Colossus anymore. I like it.
Yes. This is perfect play. Yes, this is peak performance.
This is the only thing you should be doing.
This is the only thing you can do. Everything else is illegal.
It's banned. Yeah, you will be banned from StarCraft. We can promise you that.
I'll take your money.
Oh god, as this Raven is a little bit trapped for the time being, hopefully Vindicta can find a way to slip it out and maybe get another auto turret down at some point. Meanwhile, for the time being, he's just, you know, ramping up that production, has a decent chunk of bio. We do have an observer from Trigger that does see all of this though.
Yeah, one small thing to point out here as well is the Trigger has skipped out on his upgrades, so he will have a much later +1. This is something that you can do just to get some extra units out, make sure that you're safe against any early pushes, potentially go into a bit of a 3 Colossus timing later on. So that's something that I'm going to be looking out for, but it does mean that Vindicta should have a little bit of an advantage with the upgrades down the line. So his 2-2 should definitely hit first, and that's a timing that he can look for here.
Yeah, definitely something to look out for as the game does progress. Meanwhile, Vindicta finally breaks free from his own bases, takes down an observer, and is going to be, you know, a little bit active here on the map. Has to be careful. There is vision here going into the main base for Trigger, so he will spot any kind of drop if it does come his way. But Vindicta is just, you know, sharking around, not really looking to commit or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just looking for map control, trying to see if that 4th is coming up, which it is, but he is going to be pushed back, what it looks like, by this little army from Trigger. Just 2 Colossus at this time. Looks like he's not going to be going for a 3rd or a timing or anything. Oh, actually, there is a 3rd. Okay. Be interested to see if he makes a prism and goes across the map here.
Yeah, we'll see if he does end up making that prism. We do see a little bit of harassment coming in here. We do see a Widowmine drop being set up outside the main base for Trigger, and Trigger is out of position. He is not here to defend his 4th.
Yeah, nice pick up here by Vindicta. He is going to be able to get that cancel on the 4th, so that's very good. And the mine drop comes in at the same time. Beautiful timing there.
Ooh, Widowmines go up, but only take down those Zealots. At the same time, an auto turret here towards the 3rd base. The Raven's still alive, still kicking, still doing what it can, and a nice couple of moments here from Vindicta. He doesn't get a lot of worker damage done, but, you know, at least he's able to deny that 4th.
Yeah, exactly. Vindicta doing his thing, getting that multi-prong going and putting that pressure on Trigger. Looks like Trigger going to be looking to put at least a little bit of his own pressure on with this Prism coming across the map. Could be an all-out push as well. What's at home for Vindicta to defend? He really needs tanks or Vikings here.
Yeah, right now he only has 2 tanks, one at his natural, one at his third base. He's trying to set up a little bit of Sim City, but it may just be a little bit too late. The charges are coming in.
Yeah, really good micro from Trigger as well. Going to be pulling those back, making sure they don't take big splash from the mines. And this is a very scary push. He needs to take out these Colossus, but those Vikings, they're in a beautiful position here. They can't be hit by the Stalkers.
Ooh, and there we go. The second Colossi goes down. The Charged army gets eviscerated by those 2 hero tanks. None of them went down, and Vindicta takes a pretty good fight.
Yeah, we're desperately trying to get those eBays back up. We have the Ghosts here for the Archon, so I think Vindicta can hold on here if he gets some good EMPs.
Definitely, it's going to be all about those EMPs. The Vikings are coming in as well. The first EMP misses, but we do have some more in the chamber, and Trigger is going to back off.
Yeah, Vindicta, he is holding on here. And I mean, we have that +2 coming for Trigger, so I am a little bit concerned for Vindicta that he hasn't been able to start 2-2 yet, but of course it is a priority just to survive here.
Yeah, definitely. As Trigger is maybe overextending a little bit, takes a lot of hull damage on that Colossus. At the same time, he's trying to slip a Prism into the main base. Turrets are on the way, but it looks like they're not here in time.
Ooh. Yeah, this is going to be absolutely the worst time that you can get hit by a run by like this right before you have the defenses set up is when you're going to be, you know, moving some of your army away. But looks like the Prism will be going down. These Zealots, they are going to pose a pretty big threat. Vindicta can't overreact to this because this push is still threatening his third.
Ooh, he really is. Raven goes down, but not before an anti-armor missile. This is going to deter Trigger. This is going to give Vindicta a little bit of time to focus on the defense in the main base. Nice EMP. These Zealots are going to be going down, and nice hold position micro as well.
Yeah, beautiful use of the Sim City there by Vindicta. Is going to be able to take a very efficient trade though.
Definitely, at least towards until the end here, where a Ghost is going to go down, but finally everything is going to be cleaned up. Vindicta has held onto his third, and Trigger is forced to back off and try and take his fourth, which is scouted by Vindicta.
Yeah, we see no game hard as well for Nara the players.
Cut. This is what happens, okay, when Migs leaves the Ducklings, okay?
This is why he's leaving.
True.
He forgot game hard and we're like, yeah, out of here, buddy.
We got game hard when you're on a team focused on casting. Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head.
Oh, but he has been caught a little bit out of position here. This could be really difficult to get back in just because of the disruptor count now.
Yeah, we have 2 disruptors. First Nova's going to be going off. He is going to whiff, but Vindicta is caught between a rock and a hard place. Does end up sieging here. Is going to be able to take control of this high ground.
Yeah, really smart there as well. Notices that he is being seen on the high ground, so takes out that observer there. But this is a pretty awkward position that he finds himself in. He really needs to get some harassment or some pressure on that 4th base done, but this army from Trigger is really scary.
It is terrifying right now, and it's only going to get harder here as Trigger's coming in from the right-hand side. The tanks were on siege, but the disruptor goes down for free.
Oh, huge surround. The Zealots hold the army in place, and those Disruptor Novas, they're going to be landing in a big way. GG is called, and in the blink of an eye, Trigger takes game 2.
GG, you were talking about it. Here at this level, sometimes one mistake is all it takes for the game to just end. Vindicta was doing quite well. We saw a lot of really good fights, but that last engagement was disastrous.
Yeah, just got caught kind of, I don't know, just kind of wandering around the middle of the map. Very difficult position there, getting caught a little bit. Kind of being cornered away from his base by that army of Trigger. And yeah, just if you do get sandwiched there, it can all end in the blink of an eye. So sad to see the 2-0 go down like that, but Trigger a very strong player in his own right.
Definitely. Oh boy, congratulations Trigger. He's going to be moving on in this bracket. Meanwhile, we are going to be going back to a player that we were covering earlier. Smile was waiting for Chance earlier in the broadcast, but Chance did not show up. Chance was not here. He has been missing. So Smile gets the walkover, and now he's going up against Nice.
Yeah, Smile destroying Chance 99-0.
Oh, he's crazy, puppy. He's
You
cracked.
love to see it. In record time too.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it was even faster than Migs versus Trigger. It was crazy.